Hi, this is ronMctube, playing Hunter Call of Wild on PC. Today we're on Leighton Lakes and we're going to be doing a whitetail guide for 2020. A lot of people have been messaging me saying, Ron, can you cover whitetail? I'm struggling to hunt them, so I thought I'd do it. A lot of requests, so let's see how Ron hunts whitetail. This should help new players and old players. We're going to start at ronMctube Outpost. Now this place is really simple. You walk straight out the gate, cover where I've just marked, near the water. I'd say 2 o'clock is the perfect time to visit all these points I'm talking about. So I'd start about 1:30 and then go to these points. Then we're going to go up to my tent. Now at this tent, it's just below Willie Peg Outpost. Look above the tent when you spawn here, walk down the river, check over the river on the banks. You will see whitetail feeding, grazing, and then down to this area. That is where the tent is. So you've got my coordinates. Go to Willie Peg Outpost, above it, walk down, put your tent here, and then check this area. Like I say, 1:30 to 2 o'clock, start from these points to try them out. Then we've got my secret tent location. Now this secret tent location, I'll put in the video description how to get it, but this is probably one of the best places I've found now to get rares, diamonds, trophy animals. It's absolutely brilliant. It's on Belmont Lake. You cover all around the lake and you can see it from my tent. Now you might have seen the video already, but this is a key place for getting whitetail, blacktail, loads of different species on Leighton Lakes. I can't really say how good it is. My next and final spot is just there. It's near Sheila Outpost. You can just walk over if you want, because it's only like 30 seconds run, or you can put a tent on the lake. And there's loads of whitetail and blacktail there. It just depends on the time you visit. Sometimes they're mingled together, sometimes it's whitetail, sometimes it's blacktail. But those 4 points will help you get whitetail really easy. I'm be using the M1. We've got our deer caller and we're ready to roll. The great ones are out, so Ron's looking for them just like everyone else is, and that's another reason for doing the whitetail guide, because everyone's going to be hammering them this week, trying to get a great one. And hopefully Ron gets one. I hope one of you gets one. That's the reason we're making this guide, so you can kill as many whitetail as possible in the least amount of time in the easiest way. So hopefully we get a lot of whitetail. We might not kill many, to be honest. I might just show you that where they are, and like this, look, absolutely loads of them. And some people struggle with certain species, and I've seen many times before people saying, where are these whitetail? Look at the bear. Where are these whitetail? I can't find them, there's none on my map, la la la. Most animals are just there. You've just got to find them and find the locations and visit at the right times of day. Certain times of day make a big difference to what you will see on your maps and where you see them. Sometimes you can go to that spot, it could be the hottest spot, but if you visit at the wrong time, there'll be absolutely nothing there. And then that's the difference. Time makes a big difference for when you're visiting. So 1:30 to 2 o'clock for whitetail is like the premium best time to go and find them at most locations, from what I've found anyway. So all we've done is we've walked straight out of ronMctube Outpost. Probably 15 to 20 whitetail around this pond. It's quite common. They might just be to the left. They might be where they are now. They might be a bit further left. They're not always in the exact same spot, so just check this rough area and you'll probably find a group of whitetail or 2 groups split up at different points. Expect variation when you're looking at areas. No guide will be 100% correct because obviously there's variation, so you can't get everything 100% right. So always think that in your brain. Just take out of any guide when someone makes one what works for you. That's what I always say, even my own guides. Right, we've come to our tent location just down from Willie Peg. You can visit these tents in any order you wish and they will work. I just do it in this certain way. I'm doing it now. 1:30 to 2 o'clock, as I said, start at this tent. Got my coordinates down the bottom right. You can walk from Willie Peg down to this location, put the tent there, look above it when you spawn here, because sometimes there's whitetails above drinking on this corner on these banks. there can be lots of whitetail there, so don't rush there. Down to this pond, that's all you need to check in this area. That little pocket, you could get 20 to 30 whitetail. That's how easy it is. Over hundreds of hunts I've found this out, so I'm giving this information to you. So those two locations alone, you should see probably 20 to 30 whitetail on average. That's what I normally see when I've hunted these areas. So we check up above us, then down here. Sometimes you might see 1 or 2 whitetail roaming when you spawn here. They will be going across the water to where the feed need zones are, or they'll be coming up past your tent. So watch, you might hear them on your right when you're coming down here. I know roughly what I'm doing, so I'm just going to jog down here, because I know roughly the whitetail will be on my right, in front of me, and on the left. And I know when to stop, when to walk. This is the key thing when doing detailed guides, hunts, and you get in your mind is once you learn the specifics of how animals move, roam, which way they go, what time to, you can change all your hunting aspects to suit and get the best results. But that often comes by putting a lot of time in, or following guides from people who's already put a lot of time in. Time is the key factor to get the results. So I've checked on my left where those moose are. Normally there can be a big pack of whitetail. It just depends. They can either be there or on the bank just round the corner, up in the bushes. All this area is prime whitetail hunting ground. So just because they're not here this time, remember the variation, that's probably why they're not here. But this area where we're kind of looking is really good for whitetail, and 8 out of 10 times there will be whitetail here. But obviously I'm doing a guide variation. They're not there at the minute, but obviously they're always at this location. If they're not there, they're right in front of me where I'm going to look now, on this bend. And there is some whitetail. So we've got some nice 2s, a few females. I shot a few diamonds there in a recent video, so this is a very good area for getting them. It's quite a nice 2, I'm going to actually shoot him. I have seen 2s make diamonds before, so you never know. And with animal scoring 2.0, you don't know how it's going to be. Some animals will score diamond, which probably you wouldn't think on the old scale would do, but they do now. So if you see something nice, it's probably just worth shooting it. I'm a trophy hunter, so normally I won't shoot small stuff unless it's really big or decent. But obviously you've got to do the herding mechanic as well, which some people will do, or most people will do. So I will shoot the biggest of what I see, and then hope that we get the trophy next time I come to this location or hunt the location. Now another location is just straight down where I'm kind of looking on the bend, on the eddy of the water where it turns round. It's a really good place, and there's often a whitetail hotspot all along this sort of corner. There's a rabbit in the grass, but there's nothing there at the minute. But that area is red hot. Oh, there's a coyote there. But where that coyote is, there's often loads of whitetail there. But we've got some nice whitetail here. I'm actually going to shoot that one because it looks quite nice for a 2. It's quite big. I'll shoot him. Might shoot another one, and then we'll go to our next location. But all I'm really showing you is there is whitetail in these locations and where to hunt. Put your tents. Make whitetail action. And like I say, especially with the great ones now, with the level 10 fabled non-typical whitetail, a lot of people are going to be trying to get that. You do these 4 spots and keep doing them, hammering them, you'll get something nice. I guarantee you'll get a diamond or a rare whitetail just doing these. Just keep hammering them, you will get that. Whether you get a great one or not is a different story altogether. I wish you the best of luck there and hope you do get one. If you get anything nice, the rares, diamonds using this trophy or some really good ones, drop it in the comments. I really do like to see that. A lot of people recently on my guides, I did a lion guide for the Call of Wild the other day, and people are already saying, oh thanks, I got a mythical, I got a diamond with your guide. Drop that in the comments. I do like to see that, and other people see that as well, and they know the guide works. That's the reason I like to see it in the comments. With the Great Ones update came a lot of fixes and changes for the game. Some are really good, but sadly some bugs have slipped through. That's just part of games. When something gets updated, some things get broken. So if you get any bugs, drop them over to the Hunter team and let them know. Anything trophy lodgers, anything to do with the game, because they need to know about that, and they'll get it fixed the best they can. Just remember, it's quite a hard time at the moment as well, isn't it? Everyone's locked down still in most countries around the world, so it makes it specifically really hard. But let them know of any issues you've got. On the positive side, the sound changes I actually like on a lot of the calls, details and things are really nice. Here is my secret tent location, our third location to try for whitetail. I'm not even going to say how good this is, you just have to try it. Hunt here for a while and you'll know. If you want to know how to get to the tent, I'll drop in the video description my video of how to get there. Try it out. I'm not going to lie, I've had loads of diamonds here, rares of all kinds. I've got a really special video coming up this week. I'm not going to spoil it, but like I say, check this location out because it's just absolutely brilliant. So here we've got whitetail on the left and right. Now we're looking at blacktail, but often what happens here is you get blacktail and whitetail mixed up, or you get whitetail here and then blacktail. What happens is they choose similar spots, and it's often just the times. So a blacktail spot might be good for whitetail a bit earlier or a bit later. So you just have to check the same locations where they are, and they often mingle. But I've had quite a few diamonds in this location of whitetail, blacktails. I had an albino diamond moose once, a super rare. I didn't even know about it, right, because it was the very first week when the game was coming out. It wasn't even actually out live. I was doing like the preview stream to do with the game, and I got an albino diamond moose. It cracked me a little bit because I didn't know then. We was just learning about stuff. But yeah, I had it on that corner where those whitetail were. And this is why this spot is so good, because you can see the whole area of the lake without spooking animals. A lot of animals are grazing, feeding, drinking round the lake, and you can just casually look round. Don't spend too long here, spend about 5 minutes, check the whole area, and if you see anything you want, shoot it. If not, move on. How would you go about getting a great one? How I'd go about it is I'd shoot as all the twos I could and just keep hammering them, visiting the spots, hammering the twos, hammering them, find threes, hammer them. Just keep doing that until hopefully you get a great one spawn. That's how most people will try and do it in key locations like we're visiting. So that's how I'd do it, and hope you get one to spawn. You're going to be very lucky if you get one. Here's our last location. It's near Chila. There's the outpost of Chila. I've got a tent here just to save that little run. It's literally 30 seconds to come to the lake, so you can put a tent there, fast travel. This location I come to later in the day. I tend to save this one for my last point to visit during the hunt, and I like to do up till 3 o'clock from here, because I find the blacktail seem to be a lot more than whitetail do. But sometimes you come and it's snided with whitetails. I've had diamond whitetails here. I've filmed diamond whitetails here recently. I've had diamond whitetails and blacktails at this spot, rares as well. So give this place a go. At the minute we've got mainly whitetail, but you do get blacktail mingling with them. Sometimes there's maybe 5 here, sometimes it'll be 25. It's just the variety of what you will get at this location, but you just know that this point is a really good place to visit. So we've got the M1. We're going to shoot a couple just to satisfy the urge of the M1. We're not going for trophies. If trophies are rare when we're visiting, doing the guide, then that's just a bonus. The main thing about this whitetail hunting guide is to show you how to get as many whitetail as possible in the quickest manner in hotspot locations that you might not have known about, and the times and all the details you need to know. And that's what the main thing about the guide is. It's not trophy hunting today. I will be doing the trophy hunting video in the next one, and we're getting some nice trophies. Just working on that right now. So as you can see, and that's a good tip as well, try and shoot from distance if you can, because sometimes whitetail or other animals in the area might not spook when you take long shots. That's why you see in a lot of videos or streams or whatever, a lot of people will shoot at like 250 meters plus, because sometimes the other animals there won't spook, and that's one of the reasons to do it. It's quite easy to do, to be honest. You don't have to be professional or anything. It's just a case of just learn what the drop is, and at 250 meters it's really nothing. It's just a case of hitting just after the front leg in the rib cage, go for a double lung, broadside on, and then just shoot pretty much flat. Sometimes you just arc a little bit, not much though, but with practice you can do it quite easily. But try and shoot things at distance if you can, and you'll often get a lot more animals by doing that. Has your trophy animal hunting been going for the Hunter Call Wild or the Hunter Classic? Drop that in the comments. I always like to know what you've been hunting this week, what you've had this week. I've been on a week of smashing trophies, and I've had some really nice stuff. Like I say, in my next video I'm going to show you, I thought that was an albino then, it's white rock or something in the tree in the background. But yeah, I've been smashing some really nice trophies. But I've been putting a lot of time in recently. As you probably see, I've been putting out a lot more content, and I hope you're enjoying it a lot more. But yeah, this last 2 weeks I've been putting in extra amount of time and effort, and like I say, it's been paying off. And the trophy lodge is coming along beautifully in both the Hunter Classic and Hunter Call Wild. So if you want to see me hunt anything specific, drop that in the comments. And like I say, I'd like to hear what you've had this week on Hunter Call Wild or the Hunter Classic. So we've just shot a few whitetail deer. I had to get the quickening out of my blood. The M1 was calling to me. M1 Garand, I'm not even joking, it's my favourite gun now. It's a favourite gun in the game, I just love it. I can't stop using it, and now I've got used to the distance. I'm shooting animals at 400 meters plus of it with ease. It's such a great gun. At the first I used to hate it. I'm not lying, I used to hate it. The recoil kick I thought was too much. Did mention about this, but now I've got used to it. I'm kind of falling in love with it, and my trusty old 7mm has been booted back to the gun cupboard, and the M1's a firm second place in my loadout. So I hope you enjoyed this whitetail deer guide for 2020. I hope you bagged some real monsters. I'm ronMctube. Please subscribe to my YouTube channels, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.